Don't try me.
Anything dirty will be reciprocated, brother.
Don't try me.
You two were stablemates for a lot of years. Did this idea of you two fighting ever come up?
Honestly, I've been thinking about fighting him since the amateurs. I always admired the type of boxer he was with the skill set to shine. He had like a real moments in the amateurs and the pros where he had shine bright, and I wanted to see myself against that. So yeah, I've been had that on my brain.
I thought he was on his path, I was on my path, but then I thought like years down the line, not this soon, but years down the line, as long as everybody's still doing their part, that we'll meet. But time has changed that course, and now we're facing each other.
When two fighters who've known each other since they were kids finally sit down face to face, you expect fireworks. But what happened between Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson at their recent face-off wasn't just trash talk. It was a chess match that revealed something huge about how this fight is really going to go down. January 31st at Madison Square Garden. That's when these two finally settle everything. This isn't just another boxing match. This is the best fighting the best while they're both in their prime. World titles are on the line. Two guys from New York and New Jersey who've been circling each other for years are finally going to throw down.
Ooh, that's a nice bag. I'm used to it. Sparring, man, it was just really bad because I wanted to impress my father the most. When I didn't perform at my best with him, or if I got hit and I didn't like it and I started crying, I would run away. I literally would run away from my father and everybody.
Let me tell you what's really happening behind the scenes in Teofimo's training camp, because it explains everything about this fight. The Teofimo you're going to see on January 31st is completely different from any version you've seen before. Here's the thing about Teofimo. As a kid, he struggled hard with boxing. He would literally run away from his father after bad sparring sessions. His dad had to call the cops to find him. He was 8 years old, crying in the corner, saying, "I don't want to do this."
Look for me. This is me at 8 years old running away, my father having to call the cops. And I put my father through a lot of mess. You know, and I would cry all the time. I would embarrass him because I would cry while he was in the corner. "I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this." And that's why I never really liked sparring. It wasn't because of that I wasn't good enough. I believe it was just the fact that I was so hard on myself.
Fast forward to now, his whole training camp for Shakur is built around one idea. Don't explode early. Don't try to knock him out in one shot, because that's exactly what Shakur wants him to do. His coach has been pushing him hard.
I don't have much, man.
You gotta listen to my mouth.
I haven't felt.
You need to go to the field and live in that field. Okay. Live in it.
Okay.
No motherfucking, no health spa, no freaking none of that shit.
Okay.
No health quest. I want you living in that field. That's all we need, bro.
Coach, how you handling it today?
No, bro, because I know I see what's going on, bro. 1, 2.
Can I come back with a hook?
Okay.
Slip, slip, slip.
They're doing long pressure rounds where there's no hiding behind big moments, just constant movement, constant punches, throwing even when your legs are screaming for a break. The biggest change? Teofimo is learning to stop cutting the ring, firing one big missile and then admiring his work like it's a fireworks show, because Shakur eats that alive. Instead, he's working on smaller steps, smaller punches, and combinations that don't look flashy but actually do damage over time. Even blocked punches steal space, close exits, and mess with rhythm. The footwork training is brutal. No more jumping around like he usually does, just inching forward like a debt collector who won't leave. This camp is harder than any weight cut because Teofimo has to stop thinking knockout and start thinking rounds. It's like telling a sports car to enjoy sitting in traffic. But here's what makes this interesting. Teofimo said something important.
You know, my mind is limitless, though. You know, so then again, it's like I could always succeed to another level with it, you know, and exceed to it. So it's really just trying to just keep it going, you know, keep moving forward throughout the whole time and throughout the whole process, and mainly just have fun with it. You know, you gotta have fun with what you do. You know, I love this. You know, I haven't stopped doing what I've done because of the fact that I enjoy what I do. You know, this has been 20 years in the making.
The early rounds are treated like gold now, not because he needs a finish, but because he needs to disrupt Shakur's confidence before Shakur gets comfortable. The real test isn't whether Teofimo can hurt Shakur, it's whether he can stay calm when it doesn't work right away. Now let's talk about what the experts are saying, because they're all seeing different things in this fight. Dan Rafael brought up something important that people forget. Teofimo Lopez has beaten Lomachenko. He's beaten Josh Taylor. He was the king at lightweight. Yeah, he lost to Kambosos, but he had serious medical issues during that fight. When the moment is real and the stakes are high, Teofimo shows up. Josh Taylor was supposed to be a problem. Teofimo made it look easy. And Shakur, when people called him boring, what did he do? He stood in the pocket with William Zepeda and won almost every single round. He answered the critics by adjusting his style instead of folding under pressure. Dan also pointed out something crucial. This fight belongs at Madison Square Garden. Teofimo is from Brooklyn. Shakur is from Newark, which is a 5-minute train ride from Manhattan. No weird location, no travel excuses, just two elite fighters 5 minutes from home fighting where reputations stick. The context strips all the excuses away. This is about credibility. Who actually owns their past accomplishments when the lights are unforgiving?
Kind of fight that belonged in America, and it didn't belong in Las Vegas. It belongs in New York City at Madison Square Garden. Teofimo is from Brooklyn. Shakur is from Newark, New Jersey, which is a 5-minute train ride from Midtown Manhattan. I mean, it's got everything you want to see. The Garden hasn't had a lot of big fights in the main arena over the last few years. The last one they had was the third fight between Katie Taylor and Serrano. But before that, it'd been, a couple years, I think, since they had a main arena fight. So this is a big time fight.
But then Lonnie B came in with a completely different angle. He's not looking at resumes, he's looking at unpredictability. He said Shakur is flawless. Punches come right out of the holster with no warning. But flawless fighters don't get forgiveness when things go sideways. On the other hand, Teofimo has that Roy Jones energy. You never know what he's going to do, and that's the problem for Shakur. You can't really train for somebody like that because you don't know which Teofimo is going to show up.
You got, listen, both are extraordinary talents. Extraordinary talents. Shakur, oh my God, flawless. Don't telegraph his punches. They come right out the holster. They come right out the clip. You got Teofimo, who's extremely athletic. He reminds me of Roy Jones. You never know what he's gonna do. It's kind of hard to train for somebody like that because you don't know what Teo's gonna show up.
Remember what Teofimo did to Josh Taylor? He was playing with him, hitting him with big shots, styling on him. That version didn't ask for permission. He just took over the night. Lonnie keeps saying you never know which Teofimo shows up, and when he does show up, he fights to the level of his competition. Lonnie also warned that Shakur can't lay on the ropes like he sometimes does. Once Teofimo gets in his groove, he's a hard train to stop. Shakur needs to be way more active in this fight. At the end, Lonnie called it 50-50, not because he's unsure, but because he sees this as a will fight disguised as a skill fight. It's not about who's prettier technically, it's about who has that Jordan, Kobe mindset, that I'm not losing tonight switch. When comfort disappears, somebody's identity is getting tested, and that's why the margin is so thin. Then Zab Judah came in and said something that hit different.
Teo's a good fighter, but this type of style Teo possesses, you're gonna break him up. You're gonna break him up. You can't beat what you can't hit. You can't. This is impossible. That boy ain't nothing to f around with.
Right.
Poor boy, he's something out of the Matrix Part 3. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, he you know what I'm saying? He pulling shit away and hit you with, come on. I'm loving him. He's dope. I mean, I always spoke highly of him. Always.
That line isn't trash talk, that's experience talking. Zab kept saying Shakur moves in and out like the Matrix. When punches keep missing by inches, your confidence starts to crack. Zab isn't questioning Teofimo's talent, he's questioning the compatibility. He said Shakur breaks fighters down structurally, piece by piece, and that's scary because Teofimo feeds off rhythm and reaction. Zab pointed out that Shakur doesn't swing between nights. He doesn't show up distracted. He doesn't unravel. That's a direct contrast to the volatility around Teofimo. When Zab talks about the Garden, he's not talking about geography. He's talking about energy. Newark, Brooklyn, New York, Jersey, packed house, no neutral crowd, just pressure everywhere you step. And Zab didn't hedge his prediction. He said dismantle. That tells you how confident he is in Shakur's control when styles clash this clean. Now let's get into what happened at the actual face-off, because this is where things got really interesting. Both guys have known each other since the amateur days. Shakur said, "I've been thinking about fighting him since the amateurs. I always admired his skill set and wanted to see myself against that." Teofimo felt the same way. They both thought it would happen years down the line, not this soon. And honestly, that's the problem with boxing. Fighters wait until their mid-30s to fight each other. By then, their best years are gone. This fight happening now, while they're both in their prime, is what the sport needs. Teofimo explained why he took this fight. "If you look around my weight class, I can't get the other big fighters to get in the ring, so you gotta go to somebody who's willing to do it." But here's where it got spicy. Teofimo had said before that Shakur had the power of a 6-year-old. He doesn't even remember saying it. When they brought it up, Teofimo just laughed. "I don't even know what I'd be doing." Then they talked about weight classes. Teofimo had said that Shakur was flawless from 126 down to 114, but 140 might be too much for him. Shakur wasn't having it. "That ain't what you said, bro. You said I'm good at lower weight classes, but once I move up, I can't compete." Teofimo played dumb. "When did I say this?" Shakur reminded him it was on the Danza project about 2 years ago. Teofimo's defense? Things changed. He said back then Shakur was at 130, and he was already at 140. There was a 10-pound gap. He thought differently then. They talked about the Lomachenko fight. Someone asked if the size advantage helped Teofimo. He shut that down quick. Heck no, that man was a lot to deal with. He was #1 pound for pound over Canelo, over Crawford, over Inoue. Then Shakur said something interesting. The motivation question was interesting too. When asked if he's as motivated as Shakur, Teofimo corrected them.
It's a difference. I'm determined. No motivation. I have all the motivation I need. Got my family. Peoples are good. I'm wealthy, healthy. Health is wealth. Determined for more. Determined for a betterment of my life.
You know, we're just coming off the press conference where it seemed like Teofimo Sr. was doing his best to try to get you to commit to fighting the same way you did against Zepeda.
Truthfully, I fight whatever style to win. Whatever style comes up that I gotta win a fight is what I'm gonna do, so
Shakur's approach is different. He wants to prove he's the best. "I want people to know I'm the best. That's my main objective. I want the world to see the greatness within my skill set. After we get out the ring, I want everybody talking about it, like I'm that guy." Teofimo got frustrated at that. You're not going to get that all the time. If you go for people's expectations, you're going to always be disappointed. But Shakur pushed back. "I ain't worried about the people. I want to show what level I'm on. You always got to strive for something." That exchange showed everything. They're so different. Teofimo thinks Shakur cares too much about what people think. Shakur thinks having goals and wanting recognition is part of being great. Then came the moment everyone's talking about. They asked Teofimo how he's going to break Shakur's defense, since Shakur is statistically the best defensive fighter in boxing. Teofimo said, "There's a lot of different ways to do it. Although some may think it's legal, it's still legal." What does that mean? He's talking about punches that hit certain areas. As long as it's not below the belt or the back of the head, it's fair game. Some people think he's talking about punching Shakur's hands, since Shakur has had hand problems, meeting knuckles with knuckles, breaking his hands early. The face-off ended with both guys staring each other down. Shakur said, "Anything dirty will be reciprocated, brother. Don't try me." The tension was real. Gary Russell Jr. broke down how Teofimo can actually win this fight. He said intellect beats athleticism, so he's leaning toward Shakur, but it's 50-50. Shakur's game plan should be to box, move, control the center, make Teofimo miss, and make him pay.